Hey guys, this is Andrew with Figure Fandom Review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Storm Collectibles Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. Now, a little hidden information here, I am a huge fighting game fan. I play fighting games pretty much every night, and mainly Street Fighter, but I am a Mortal Kombat fan. And Shao Kahn is easily my favorite character from the Mortal Kombat series. So really excited to get this figure in hand. Storm Collectibles are widely known as the kings of fighting game figures, and in this one I don't think it's any different, man. Beautiful figure, awesome accessories. So let's take him off the throne and let's get into it. All right, so now that we got him off the throne, let's take a closer look at the aesthetics of the figure. Out of the package, this is exactly how he'll come. And one of the first things I do notice about the figure is that there is a really great job or good attention shown to his skin tone. And what I mean by that is a lot of these pieces here, Storm Collectibles is known for using kind of like a rubbery torso area. Like, it's very rubbery. You can feel it. You push this in. It's a soft rubber plastic, or that they use so that you could like flex the body in it. Kind of allows the character to move a bit more freely. And then they have the joints here, like for the butterfly joint, the pectoral part right here is a hard plastic. The flesh tones are like almost identical, man. It's crazy how close this is. So it looks very even around, unlike say figure arts. Figure arts is not known for really matching their skin tones too well sometimes. So in the case of this though, it matches very well. And another thing that you will notice is that the figure is got shading throughout. So there is shading on the shoulder pads here. There is some great paint work and shading on the actual spikes that he has. So if you see all his spikes, he's got shading on his I guess these are shin guards or whatever, and throughout. And there's some subtle shading. There's shading on the helmet, if I haven't mentioned that. So he's got shading on his helmet there and on the back. So he's got like a dark wash rather on a lot of those parts on his body, and the figure just looks really good. He looks exactly like how you would expect Shao Kahn to look, were he taken out of the game and put into your hands. So really good, nice, solid feel to it. It feels like a premium figure, which Storm Collectibles is really good for doing that. Like, I can't really complain about most of their figures. The ones I've had at least are pretty solid. So now that we've gone over just the basic aesthetics, let's go ahead and look into his articulation. So for articulation on this channel, I like to start from the top and then work my way down. So hopefully to nobody's surprise, this is a helmet, and so it pops right off. No, it does not make that sound effect. But now we can take a look at his beautiful face, which for some reason, I don't know why, he reminds me of Mike Tyson right now. But starting with head pivot, so going to the, I guess his left, sorry, you get about that much head pivot. Going to his right, about that much. Looking back, not really a whole lot. And then looking down, you get really about that much. So not a whole lot of range, and I'll tell you exactly why. 1 second. Fatality. It's because of this rubber torso piece right here. So this is fighting the ball peg, and so when you let's say I push his ball peg back, watch. Oops, didn't do it that time. But if I push it down, there it is. See? It fights the ball peg and pushes it back. So this rubber piece is cool, really nice, but it's fighting the head articulation. So that's gonna keep you from looking down or pivoting to the side as much as possible. However, he can just, look side to side. So you do have that. All right, so let's put that back on. Cover your face so you don't get sun damage. And let's go into his arms. So at the shoulders, you will get greater than 90, which is awesome, just barely, but still, gotta give him props. So greater than 90. His shoulder itself can rotate, so you do get the rotation from the shoulder. The bicep can move more than this, but like, see, when you push it, you hear that? That is gross sounding. When you push it, if you want to get like a more tricep you know, I guess pose, showing his triceps off, you will hear that gross sound. It sounds like the plastic is just rubbing against each other. So, not really great. I mean, obviously you can do it, but it doesn't sound good. It sounds like you're gonna mess something up. So coming to his butterfly joint right here, he doesn't get a whole lot of range, and again, that might be because of the rubber, and also it is a little gappy. So if you have him posed where you're looking at him from behind in some way, like he's like swinging a hammer down on somebody and you see his back, you are going to get the gap right there. So that's not cool. And again, it's not the best butterfly joint. It doesn't really give you too much more range. I mean, it is some, but you know, could be better. He does have a double jointed elbow. So let's go ahead and show you that. So double jointed elbow doesn't bring the arm all the way up, and that is again because he's a thick boy. He's got these huge biceps which are blocking you. However, his wrists are amazing, man. He gets really deep like wrist movement. So that's pretty cool. Now, moving on to his waist is kind of a disappointment. Just depends on which way you're going. So he doesn't have any upper chest, like, you know, movement where his chest can bend a little bit, then his waist. No, you're just getting all your movement from his, you know, below his abs. So you're just getting that waist movement purely. So he will look down, no problem, but looking back, that's about all you're getting. He's not going to go any further than that. And this is a figure, this is a figure at neutral. So you're not going to get a whole lot of, you know, leaning back, you know, with him. And I guess that's not a problem considering he's Shao Kahn and he doesn't really lean back. He's always coming forward at somebody. So, okay. Now, going to his legs, starting out, his legs are really good, but there is a little thing that you're going to have some trouble with sometimes. So this chainmail, or I guess it's supposed to be chainmail, let's, you know, lift up and see his underwear. He has two different flaps. One flap here, and this flap right here. This flap always wants to come over this one, and that's going to reduce his leg range. So you're going to have to adjust it, see how I'm doing that now, where this flap is underneath. Now that it's underneath, if I kick out to the side, there we go, I get that full-on side kick. So that's just the only thing you got to worry about. But let's go for the front kick and show you. I know he's super squeaky. Don't worry, nothing's going to break. I've been playing with him for a bit. So you get your front kick, which is really good. The full, you know, 90. Then you do have a hip swivel, not necessarily thigh swivel, but he swivels at the hip in the groin area. He does have a double jointed knee. Not a whole lot of range. I mean, well, it doesn't come all the way back or further, and that's because he has these humongous hamstrings just blocking it, which is, I'd rather him be like that because he's Shao Kahn. He's meant to be buff. He does have on his feet an ankle rocker, so he is a martial artist. He is going to be doing these blade kicks, so you do have that. He can, with his feet, he can bring the pivot back about that much, and then he could bring it forward and, you know, give you that nice toe touch there. And speaking of toe touch, let's go ahead and do his, you know, there you go. So he does have a toe hinge, which is nice. It looks pretty good. All right. So that is a look at his articulation. If I can get him back into position, because he's fighting me right now. We'll go ahead and take a closer look at his accessories. So starting with the heads, we have what could be his shouting head, or if you know Shao Kahn, it could be his laughing head, which I'll show you right now what that looks like with the helmet on. There we go. So it looks like he's either shouting or just laughing at you, especially this way. Yeah, that's pretty funny. So yeah, we have that. And here we have our angry or teeth gritted face. And with the helmet on, it's a little bit more subtle, but it is there. So for hands, we have these two open, kind of like almost reaching out, grabbing somebody's hands. We also have these two just open palm hands. we have right here. We have two Shao Kahn pointing at you hands. Here we have two martial artist style hands. And here we have two weapon holding hands. And of course we have the two fist hands, which come on him in the packaging. For weapons, we do get his steel or metal spear. We also get an energy spear. And we get, of course, his warhammer. Complete with shading as well along the leather wrapping. Not actual leather, but painted. Last and certainly not least for accessories is the throne. Now the throne is pretty cool. It comes in two parts. So you have this base plate here. If it wants to come off, yeah. So you have this base plate, which kind of helps it balance here. And you could see it has like all the blood on it, everything. It's got what looks to be like rust right here. So they put a lot of, detail into that. So it looks like it's, the throne of a conquering maniac. The actual throne itself is, cool as well. So they do have like the little blood streaks on it. He doesn't so much sit on the throne. I know it looks like he's sitting on the throne. He's more so falling off of it, but these armrests kind of hold him up. So when you try to put him on there, you're going to notice, you're like, whoa, why does it feel like he's not sitting on it properly? Yeah, he doesn't. Like his butt's probably like right here, like falling off of it. But it does work. He still, ends up appearing to be sitting on it when you're looking at it from the front, especially. But yeah, most of the figure is basically just bouncing from his legs and from this. So it's not like he's seated properly on the throne. But it does give the effect that it's supposed to have, which is like him kind of lounging in the throne, like, not caring. But a really cool accessory, awesome to have. It's huge. I would have showcased the box today, but the box is massive. It's ridiculous how big it is. So I wasn't able to, really showcase the packaging today, unfortunately for you. But all right, let's go ahead and let's get him posed up, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So there we have it, guys. Storm Collectibles Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. It just, for me, a really fun figure. The throne is, is cool. It's a really cool accessory. It's a little cheap looking at times for certain parts of it, but as a whole, it's really cool. It really adds to the presence and the kind of, lore of what the character is. He's a conqueror. The figure is a joy to play with, and just pose around and come up with different scenes that you want to recreate with him and from the series. He's a fun figure, beautiful aesthetics. They did a really good job with a lot of beautiful shading on the parts that needed shading. The skin tones are evenly matched across different types of plastic. Articulation is fairly good too. Like I said, he has a few issues in the waist and with the butterfly joint not being really all that effective. However, for the poses that most people, I believe, will put this character in, I don't think that's going to be a problem. So for me, this will be a 9 out of 10. He's a really fun figure, and I don't regret my purchase one bit. So if you're new to the channel, please comment, give your opinion. I like to hear it. I try to answer everybody's that I can. And as always, please be safe and keep collecting. Later.